Alright guys, what's up? Rosario here, back with another video. Today we'll be taking a look at my nutrition. This is literally what I eat, what I've been eating almost every day for the past 3 years, and that's what helped me making most of my gains. Now, a lot of the foods on this table are non-negotiable for me. Others are foods that I like to rotate, test them out, do experiments to see how my body reacts to them. So if I do again this video in the future, you might see most of the foods here, but not all of them. So obviously I divided it based on the macros, and then maybe later on or in another video, I'll be doing the same for my morning supplements. But it's divided into protein, fats, and carbs. And carbs as well are divided into simple sugars from fruits and vegetables and complex carbs. So we're going to start with the most important macro, which is protein. Now, obviously, staples in my diet, like in most bodybuilding diets, is whey protein. Now, this is a beef, grass-fed beef protein, and it's isolate. So it is fantastic because it has a higher protein content than regular whey, and also lower content of sugars and fats. Normally, I'll have this in the morning with a protein shake, or I'll have it with my protein oats. It tastes amazing and it doesn't bother me at all. Like in terms of digestion, it's very easy to digest, and yeah, it's just a great source of protein. Now, this is basically the most processed food on this table, but just because it's processed doesn't mean that it's bad. So this is basically a byproduct of dairy. So if you handle dairy very well, you won't have any issues with whey protein. Next one, you're gonna find some, stable on every bodybuilding table, which is chicken breast. Now, this one, especially here in Italy, is particularly expensive. Uh, but I try to find the really good one, one that is farm raised with no antibiotics, bio and stuff like that. And I have to say, the taste is amazing. It's like nothing I've tasted in the UK, and it's worth the extra money. So if you find this kind of like more traditionally farmed chicken, get it, because you're gonna see a big difference, and it's gonna make eating chicken way funnier than it usually is. The next one would be this, which is minced beef. Again, like one of the bodybuilding staples. This one is the one with the higher fat content. At the moment, I'm in a slight calorie surplus, so I'm not particularly worried about raising my calories. Obviously, this one has more fat, so it tastes amazing. It makes great burgers, and yeah, pretty much I can eat this every day. It's like having a small cheat meal every day. Probably when I get into my cutting phase, I would be moving towards like a more leaner cuts. This is livers and hearts, like chicken livers and hearts. I found them yesterday. They're actually quite cheap. It's like €5 a kilo, so it's pretty good deal. I want to try to incorporate more organ meats in my diet and see how I feel, if I see any noticeable difference, because these are really packed with nutrition, a lot of minerals and vitamins. So I'll probably either like cook them in the pan and see how they taste, hopefully not too gross, or I'll just chop them into bits and mix them with my minced beef and basically do this I don't know, like enhanced burger. Next one, no surprise, it's whole eggs. At the moment, I'm not using egg whites for the same reason why I'm not using leaner beef, because I'm in a bulking phase. So I'm using more eggs to have more protein, and I'm not particularly worried about the higher fat content, because the one containing eggs is actually very good for you, very nutritious, very healthy, packed with vitamins and minerals. So eggs will always be a staple in my diet. I'll have at least 4 to 5 eggs every day. This is again a little experiment that I'm running is Parmigiano Reggiano. And I want to see how I react to cheese because I'm not the biggest fan of Greek yogurt, to be honest. I know everyone eats it, great source of protein, low fats, low sugars, whatever. I just don't like it. It's decent when mixed with protein, or if you put some honey in it, but it's not my favorite thing. So I've been trying to incorporate more of these cheeses made with raw milk, and they're a great source of protein, very nutrient dense. They're also very high in calories, so you need to be careful with it because it's very, very easy to go overboard with it and eat a ton of it. Next one, this might be surprising maybe because not many people have it, but it's whole milk. Yeah, I don't have any milk. I don't know, like dairy. How do you say, like dairy-free alternatives of milk, whatever. I just have the real thing. Like this is whole milk. It's not even the skimmed version. Um, yeah, again, probably I'll switch it to skim milk when I'm cutting. But at the moment, I want foods that are nutrient dense, and yeah, they just taste good. Like you mix it with protein powder and coffee, you shake it up, and you have an amazing protein shake. Now this is majority of my protein. Only thing left is tuna. Again, very popular in any bodybuilding diets. This one, like I don't over consume it because obviously, as you know, like it's very hard to have sustainable fish, and it's normally loaded with heavy metals like mercury, cadmiums, etc. So this and things like cod or tilapia, I'll have it every once in a while, especially, tuna. If I'm in a rush, is great because you just open a can, you mix it with some rice or whatever you have on hand, and you have a meal. Uh, but I try to not have it as a staple in my diet. Uh, First of all, because I don't like the taste too much, and also because, yeah, it's loaded with heavy metals. But every once in a while is totally fine. Like, don't get too worked up about these kind of things. It's more about like the broader picture. Now, let's move on into carbs. Carbs, again, no surprise, basmati rice. This is great source of carbs. Is low fat and it's very easy to digest. It pairs very well with chicken or minced beef or yeah, and literally any source of protein, even eggs. Like if you do scrambled eggs with rice, it's good with everything. Next, it's gonna be potatoes. These are just regular baby potatoes. I'm not particularly worried about having just sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes, but I like to rotate every once in a while to switch it up and vary also the taste. Yeah, I'm not particularly worried about glycemic index. Potatoes are probably one of the best carbs out there because they're very filling, very satiating. So if you're cutting, don't neglect potatoes because they're literally a lifesaver. Next on the menu is pasta. Now, every day I'll have probably a little bit of pasta or a little bit of bread. This is also whole wheat pasta, so it also helps me bump up my fiber content. It is good. It's fairly light. It's made with good ingredients. It doesn't have like 20 ingredients. It's just the ingredients that should be in pasta or the ingredients that should be in bread. So it's also relatively healthy with moderation. You can have it in your diet if you want. Now, this carbs was not as much because, yeah, I pretty much like to rotate amongst these three. And oh, yeah, the last bit would be oats. Forgot to put it on the table, but yeah, I mean, in its no introduction, everyone knows oats, and you have it with porridge or you do protein shake, whatever. That's completely fine. It is a great source of carbs. Again, not too worried about glycemic index or all the people that are now demonizing oats. It's a totally fine source of carbohydrates and also spare source of protein and fats. So if you like it, try it and see how your body reacts. If you don't have any issues from that, just keep it in your diet. Now, here is where I get most of my micronutrients. So we have loads of fruits and vegetables, especially fruits, something that I love. It helps me not just to get vitamins in, to get quick source of energy, but also to cure my sweet tooth because I have a huge sweet tooth. So having things like orange juice, bananas, uh, dates, blueberries, apples, peaches. This is all fantastic. It gives you tons of vitamins. My workout are feeling much better since I've been incorporating more fruit. Also things like lemon, like if you squeeze it on literally everything, like can be chicken, it can be fish, it makes it instantly taste way better. Also have honey. I'll put it on bread on some of my mornings. This is amazing and it's natural. So yeah, it's great source of quick carbs. Here is the veggie section. Here again, like it's not much to be said. It's just I like to rotate and incorporate as many veggies as possible, especially when I'm cutting. Having foods that are low calorie but high volume, like veggies, is perfect to keep you full throughout the day. So you'll see again like tomatoes. This is eggplant. This is Chinese cabbage, which is just called pak choi. Cucumber, butternut squash. I'll use tomato sauce. Sometimes this is natural, so it's literally made just with tomatoes. Peppers, whatever I find, whatever is in season actually. So I know that it tastes better and it's picked where at its ripeness. So that is perfect. If you want to incorporate some frozen veggies, it's also absolutely fine because those are picked when they're ripe, so they taste good and they keep their nutritional value. So things like spinach, peas, I don't know, you name it, like you can have it. Now let's move on to the last bit of the table, which is the fats. Now here you don't see much. Well, first of all, I get plenty of fats already from eggs, meat, cheese. So I don't need to incorporate too much fat, but still it's important. You'll see loads of nuts. I like to rotate because again, they contain different vitamins, minerals, also to vary the taste a little bit. Here you'll see walnuts. I have hazelnuts, pecan nuts. Sometimes I'll have almonds or natural peanut butter. Here you have coconut oil, which is something that I enjoy to put both in sweet and savory things. One thing that's missing here, you'll notice I have no avocado, not because I don't like it. It's very hard for me to find good avocados. They're either hard as a rock or they just, you look at them and they get mushy in 2 seconds. So honestly, I cannot keep up with that and I just remove it from my diet. I also normally, instead of coconut oil, I'll have extra virgin olive oil, which is another great source of fats. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So for the core diet, this is what I have on a regular basis, and pretty much I like to have the same meals every day, even in the same order. Yes, I am that boring, but just sometimes I combine the foods different. But most mornings it pretty much looks the same. So I'll have my protein shake with milk, coffee, and protein. I'll have some mixed nuts. I'll have a piece of bread with some honey and dates, bananas, so plenty of sugars in the morning because I normally train after breakfast. Post workout meal will normally be something very quick and easy, like basmati rice with chicken breast, and I'll add some extra virgin olive oil. Later on during the day, if I'm feeling particularly hungry, I'll have either a protein shake or a protein porridge made with oats and protein powder, a little bit of peanut butter, some fruits, especially blueberries, or I don't know why in Italy it's so hard to find frozen berries, but when I find that, I always get frozen berries and I mix them up with the porridge. This is amazing. Then for dinner, because at the moment I'm doing 4 meals a day, I'll have some potatoes and then I'll have a fatty source of protein like burger or omelette. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also some veggies on the side just to fill me up a bit more. And yeah, that's pretty much my regular diet. Sometimes again I'll switch up the carb source or the protein source, but most days that's exactly what I eat. That's what helped me, to get in shape, to fuel my workout, to get my testosterone up, and it gives so many benefits. So yes, protein, fats, and carbs are essential, and understanding the balance between those would be literally the key to unlocking your gains. But also you need to look at the micronutrients profile of foods, so having plenty of vitamins and minerals, and not just getting the daily pill, because that's not comparable to having the vitamins and minerals from actual food. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you in a bit with my morning supplements. Okay, let's move on to the next phase of the video where we discuss supplementation. Now, is this necessary for everyone? Obviously not. It's in the name. It's a supplement. It's not essential. What I showed you before, the total calories, macros, micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, whatever, that is what essential. This is just the cherry on top. Now, in my case, the reason why I'm taking what seems to be a lot, but it's actually just the basics, is because I have very specific goals for my physique. So this is something that I've tested over the years, makes me feel great. And yeah, it's just something that I incorporated as a staple in my diet. Even when I'm traveling, I always pack my supplements with me. It just make the nutrition, the effects of the nutrition better. Now, let's start with the most basic one, which is obviously your multivitamins and minerals. Now, why am I taking this if I'm also having fruits and veggies? It's because simply it is impossible to have every single vitamin or mineral that you need in your diet from fruit and veggies. You'd have to have an insane variety every day, which is just not sustainable. So I have this to at least cover the basics. So I know that I get X amount of all the vitamins, X amount of all the minerals. Now, next one would be collagen. Now, I take this because collagen is very beneficial for hair, for skin, for your nails. So it's something that I always struggle with because, my skin is very delicate and, my hair is very frail. And partially, I fixed it with nutrition, but this is something that just elevates the effects of nutrition, and I've seen major improvements over the years. So this is something that I highly recommend if you have these kind of issues, or simply if you want to prevent it. You can incorporate it in your diet. It works amazing. It's very cheap. And yeah, it's just capsule. You swallow one every day, and yeah, pretty much covered. Next one, another staple is fish oil. I take two of these with my breakfast. I always have it when I'm also assuming fats, and they have a lot of benefits, especially for heart health, for brain health, and yeah, pretty much they sustain also your physical activity, because when those two are working better, you are also working better in the gym. So again, this is another one of my staple. Been taking them for years. They work amazingly well. So just give it a go. Next one, this is a little experiment that I've been running just because I've heard so much about this and I got curious, and is ashwagandha. Now, this is supposed to help with relaxation, fixing your sleeping pattern, aid recovery, which is basically the most critical aspect of my diet because my sleeping pattern is abysmal. So I've been trying it. I cannot say yet if it's working or not, if it has any major benefit for me because it's only been a couple of weeks. I'll probably, say tell you what I think about ashwagandha after a few months at least. And yeah, if it's actually improving my sleep, I would keep it as a staple. Otherwise, I'm just gonna use something else. That's something else being melatonin. So this one, I definitely feel the effect more immediately. So I take it as a tea, and after half an hour more or less, I start feeling very drowsy, and it's helped me a little bit with sleeping better. But honestly, it's no magic tea or anything. And honestly, I haven't done it every day because, first of all, I don't want to rely on these things to fall asleep. And also because it's so freaking hot. So having hot tea is not really something that I want to do. Next one, This is electrolytes. So this is the only thing that I take intra workout. I don't take any BCA or EAA. I think they're just waste of money because I have enough protein during the day. I don't need to supplement amino acids. But this is definitely helpful. This is basically minerals because when you sweat, you don't lose just water, but also sodium, potassium, magnesium. That's why you feel faint and that's why you feel your energy dropping. This one helps me prolong the workouts a little bit longer, push a little bit harder, train with more intensity, and they make the water taste good so I can drink more of it. So I also stay more hydrating. And finally, now this is very interesting, and actually I love this one. It is incredibly small, and I don't know if you can see this yellow pill. It is made with turmeric, black pepper, and ginger. So I'm sure some of you know it already, but curcumin has a lot of health benefits, but it's activated and elevated when combined with black pepper. And then there is ginger, which carries a whole other series of benefits, but most of it, they are incredibly helpful with anti-inflammatory for anti-inflammatory purposes and also for your immune system. So give it a go. This one is amazing. It's completely natural, but it's more convenient than buy the individual ingredients and then combine them in a tea or eat them raw, whatever. Yeah, you don't feel the taste at all. And yeah, it's great, especially to help you with recovery. Even if you're a person that gets sick very often, this one is going to help you a lot. Again, like there's no magic behind it. It's just gonna help you prevent a little bit. But yeah, like I love it, and I've been feeling major improvements since I've taken it. So I'm gonna keep it in my staple for a very long time. Last but not least, creatine. This one is in the cupboard of every bodybuilder. It is probably the most studied supplement and the one that has the most benefit without any side effects. I just have 5 grams every day with normally with my protein shake. So the thing about creatine is that it doesn't matter when you take it because it's not something that has effect straight away. So if you can be consistent with it, take it in the morning. Some people take it pre-workout or post-workout. It doesn't matter because creatine basically builds up in your bloodstream and it just start releasing its effect after a couple of weeks. So some people like to macrodose to get into their bloodstream faster. In my experience, it doesn't really matter because once it's in your bloodstream, you go back to 5 grams a day anyways. So just start with 5 grams, and then after a couple of weeks, you're gonna start seeing the effects. This is fantastic. Like it's gonna help you a lot with performance. You're gonna feel stronger because you're gonna retain more water into the muscle. You're also gonna look more muscular because of that. Obviously, as you're retaining more water into the muscles, you're also gonna look a little bit more bloated. That doesn't mean that you're gonna have a belly or anything, but just that if you see yourself and you're not as shredded as you were before, it might be a side effect of creatine. So maybe you're having too much of it, or maybe there's something else wrong with the diet. But yeah, this is a slight side effect of creatine. But again, I don't think it's even like noticeable. It's something that just like if you're really paying attention to details and you're measuring every single percentage of your body, it's something that you might notice. But like every minor side effect is completely trumped by all the health benefits that it carries. So yeah, that is my supplement stack. As you can tell, it's just some basics. I don't even take them all every day. Just basically the multivitamin and mineral, collagen, omega 3s, creatine. This is when I'm working out. So yeah, it's just you don't have to go overboard with it. You don't have to spend tons of money on weird supplement. uh, Definitely go for the ones that are tested, that have a ton of studies to back them up. From buy them from reliable companies, and where you can check the ingredients, the dosage, and yeah, just test them for yourself. Keep that basically everything else exactly the same so you can have a controlled experiment. Introduce one supplement at a time, see the difference, and then decide if it's worth keeping it or not. So yeah, that's my supplement stack. And yeah, that's pretty much my morning routine. It's been my morning routine for the past 3 years. I've dropped tons of body fat and put on a lot of muscle in those years. And yeah, I think it's the proof that when you set the right path for you, then eventually if you're consistent with it, if you work hard, the results are gonna come. But just remember that it's not a fast process. It's very slow. It takes time. It's a learning curve. I make mistakes all the time, but I'll try to learn from them and try not to make them in the future, but find what is the best type of diet, training regimen, supplementation, recovery routine that works for me. So do the same for yourself. Comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.